Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Jez7780, and this is another episode of What Grinds My Gears, episode 13. It's Limbo time. Um, yeah, I was unfortunately I was on playing Xbox this past Wednesday. I had and it's fitting. I thought this was a funny title to put onto the show, but what I wanted to say was I pulled my back out, just doing stuff around the house, pulled my back out, completely like was just laid up in bed for a few days. I'm feeling a lot better now. Shout out to the guys that playing Xbox. I know Gaming Addict had not nice things to say about me at the end, but he jokes around. You better, because I'm gonna come with a vengeance next week. But yeah, I just been following some news. I haven't really been following too much in the news. I haven't even played that many games because I was just on my back, trying to playing that way. But I finished God of War during that time, and it was an amazing ending, amazing game. And then I wasn't able to get to my office to play to download State of K2, so I'm not going to comment on that. I know the guy spoke about that thing. I gotta fix the episode. It says episode 12. It's episode 13. But so the couple things that was has recently just showed up and made me just do this kind of late night show that I wanted to kind of do is this new thing that just came out about this this game, Miami Street. It is published by Microsoft Studios and developed by Electric Square. Rosetta, and I'm going to share my screen here. Rosetta found this, and it is really jarring. And Windows Central reported, and that's where it showed up on my Twitter feed. And I know where it's going to go and all this other stuff with, it's not for you and all this other things. There's no need to worry. But just hear me out for a little bit. Let me get to my Hangout to share my screen. Here we go. Let me get over this jaunt over here. Here we go. What the hell? Share the screen. And I'll jump into chat in a little bit. But share my screen here. And then what I'm going to do is go to this. Yeah, so this is the thing that showed up. And, so apparently this racing game is a Windows 10 PC touchscreen game. It's a tapping game, and it is from Microsoft Studios, and they found it in the store. So I'm going to click on the link to the store, and I'll show you here. I don't think it's going to come up on my store, is it? Oh, yeah, here it is. Look at that. Oh, look at this. It's probably going to be, but this is, so the thing is that going into E3, there were these rumors of a Forza Kart game. And this Forza Kart game was going to, people were thinking, even I was thinking, it was part of my predictions, was that it was going to be one of these, avatar games, sort of like Joyride, or things along the line of maybe like a kart racing game where they might have IP. I think even people were saying, maybe they'll have like some Battletoads characters, or have some of their IP characters, Blinks or something like that in a kart racing game in Forza. It was called Forza Kart, because Microsoft is partnering with this company. They're working with this company. Yeah, this looks like a okay racer, Project Gotham Racing, all this other stuff. But it is a touchscreen game, a racing game. There's no Forza Kart. There's no Forza Kart coming. They were partnering with this studio. Everybody's like, oh, they got that studio, they got this game going. But know what the crazy thing is that this game, look, it is not even online, but on top of that, it's not even for Xbox. It is just a Windows 10 store game from Microsoft Studios. Dude, what? I'm just like, huh? Now I would have preferred. Now those Joyride Avatar kart racing game with Microsoft IP sounds damn good about now. And the reason why I title this as the Limbo is, even when your expectations are set low, that this is going to be a Forza Kart racing game, oh my God, with $20 budget title, whatever, it turns out, and and here I'll get to I don't have the Windows Central ad, but the Windows Central thing. Whoa, what's going on? Here we go. But Windows Central posted here. I go back. Here's the Windows Central, and it says in the first paragraph, 4 months now, there have been rumors that Electric Square was working in collaboration with Microsoft Studios on a Forza Kart game. Unfortunately, those rumors turned out to be incorrect. It is a free-to-play racing game meant for all Windows 10 devices, like a mobile. Now, it's really strange. Maybe it's kind of PC, but it is a touch game. It's a tapping game, according to the forum post. And my thing is that as we go to E3, let me jump in to see what's going on in the chats. Oh, here we go. There I am. Yo, what's up, man? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. What the fuck, Dan? I know. I know. Let me pop out in the chat. Yo, what's up, guys? Cypher. Yeah, I know. That's why I was playing games. I was waiting for my stuff to download. I'm sharing my screen here. I was waiting for my stuff to download, and I saw this thing pop up, and it's like, that Forza Kart game? Well, it's not there. It's this deal. And, I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm not saying, oh my God, like, I understand there are people out there that play these games, that do this. There's people that go to Dave & Buster's and play the Halo arcade game. There's people that go into this and they play Age of Empires just on PC with the Windows app. I understand that stuff, guys. I know there are people that play these games. What my thing is how can you sit here with an Xbox console and go, it's all good in the hood? Microsoft is not telling us to wait to E3. I don't know where that came from, but Microsoft's not waiting to E3. They got games. They got announcements. They got Inside Xbox. They got opportunities to share the news. I'm going to stop sharing for a little bit. They got opportunities to do all this stuff. They have it. They got the news. I understand Dave & Buster's, PC, mobile, and they're covering all the bases. But what about base number one? The gaming console, the premier customer, the top asset that Phil Spencer says that buys everything, the main socket. What I'm saying is that all this stuff that's coming on right now, all this stuff is just making E3 for Microsoft this bar, this thing that I don't know they could achieve. And I swear, if E3 has anything to say about all those other things, Dave & Buster's, mobile, PC, like, it better be Xbox only if they're willing to share. I know Microsoft, a console does not compute. And that's the thing. Their mind is elsewhere. Their mind is where PC, mobile, all this, that's where their mind is. But they forget that they're selling a console, a device. The thing is, and this is where I ranted the last time, was like, if they don't care about the console business, then get out. You can't just say, oh, well, it's because what I think it turned for them, it just turned into an option. Like, oh, yeah, the console, that's for the TVs. And they're not taking the console seriously. Instead, they're taking the console now as just a kind of an asset. It's just like, yeah, just throw it on the TV. It's a disposable kind of device for them. And that's where I find is that you could see in where their mind share is. This is where their mind share is. They have taken the console, and it's just a thing they throw under the PC. It's an option. You throw it under the PC. And they're not addressing the core players. And people say, I think it was on last week's Playing Xbox, people say, well, why does it grind your gears? If you have the PC that you're playing on and you can play all the Xbox games and you have Xbox Live for free, it's because Microsoft put me here. They put me here. I wear my Xbox pajamas right now. I got my Xbox pajamas on right now. All right? Only fanboys wear Xbox pajamas. I bought Xbox pajamas. And I'm telling you, I only needed an Xbox. I only needed it. I never had a PlayStation 2. PlayStation 3, I got near the end and I tried playing it, but it was horrible. I tried it for God of War. I never needed anything else. Once I left Nintendo and I said, I'm done playing Disney Sports Soccer, I want something to do online, I was done. I was like, goodbye. Thank you, GameCube. N64 was a great time. Thank you, GameCube. Nintendo's going in one direction. I am like a 25-year-old man, a person, and I'm going home to play Disney Sports Soccer. No thanks. I need new games. And my friends are playing Ghost Recon online, shooting each other, having a great old time, playing Unreal Tournament. Yo, what's this Xbox about? Get me cable in my house, in my parents' house. Let's go. And I was Xbox done. I wasn't no Sony. I didn't play Sony products. I didn't even touch. I had a Sony PlayStation 1 that I had to put upside down until that thing died. And then I went Nintendo 64 because I was always a Nintendo person. I went Nintendo 64 and then GameCube launch day overnight. And I had that. So this is not coming from somebody that just likes to bash on them. I'm not bashing on them. I am upset that this is what they became because I watched them come to prove themselves that they needed to be their own console space, to introduce themselves with The Rock at E3 to justify why Microsoft, a PC company, is making a console, and watch them fight tooth and nail to establish themselves through the original Xbox when PlayStation 2 was getting everything and Xbox had to start from the ground up. I was there. I was there on day one Xbox Live. I was there. So this is not coming from a ragtag group of people that grew up PlayStation, started, and then had to force over to 360 because 360 was the dominant console, and then all of a sudden now running back home to PlayStation 4. That's not me. That's not me. So what we need to establish here is that Microsoft put me here with all their new direction and their new focus. So when I'm over here, I'm having a grand old time and I'm playing every PlayStation exclusive that came out. I'm playing all Microsoft stuff, whatever they come out on PC. But my problem is what grinds my gears about what's going on is that the decisions that Microsoft is making is hurting the games that they're producing. Nonetheless, not only the games that are coming out of them, but the games that they are actually greenlighting and the games that they are deciding to put out. And now it affects, as a gamer, it affects the games that you play. Because now the games that you're playing have a different purpose. Their purpose is to reach out, to be accessible. Their purpose is to reach out to gamers that maybe might not play these games. You remember when there was a hardcore game and then the sequel comes out and it's like easier to play because they want it to be accessible? Well, Microsoft's throwing that now into all their games. They just want, and now the trend that I'm seeing is they don't even care about making their console accessible. They are trying to go to markets that they have no business in now. They want to now because they have this Windows 10 store. They got, I guess Dave and Buster's, let's put a Halo. But my issue is that, yeah, I understand it's not taking away from Halo development. I know that Halo thing is not taking development. Well, my thing is who made the conscious decision to say we need to put a Halo game in an arcade in 2018? We have to have arcade presence in 2018 in Dave and Buster's over giving somebody maybe a Halo expansion or making a game for the console, the gaming console. That is the problem I have. Who comes in here and says, yo, we need to make an arcade racing game with this Electric Studios. Let's make this thing with Electric Studios. And I'm not saying this is a bad game. I haven't played it. It looks all right. But who says, yo, I just want it in Windows 10 free to play? Why don't you just, if it's so easy, why is it not crossplay? Why is it not cross buy? Why doesn't it have Xbox Live features? Why is it not multiplayer? Why don't you have Gears of War cars in there? Why don't you have Halo cars in there? Like, let's freshen this up. Let's make this an Xbox game. Instead, it's some bland racing Miami game, touchscreen, bare the bones minimum from just the looks of it. But why is it not on the Xbox? Not that I want this game, but like what are they thinking? What is going on over there? That's been my problem. What the hell is going on over there? And I'm not going to sit here and complain and go, well, everybody now is having a grand old time with another polished, amazing 4K checkerboarded looking game, Detroit Become Human, with story progression, with choose your own adventure, and all that other jazz. And PlayStation people are sitting there enjoying another AAA game coming out, and then know that 4 more AAA games are going to be shown in depth at E3, and they're going to be coming later on with a Spider-Man release date. You cannot sit here and say that Xbox is even close to having a gamer experience like that. Nintendo gamers are sitting there knowing Smash Brothers is coming. I don't know what the hell E3 is. And what's crazy is that my expectations are low. I'm not thinking what people are thinking, that, oh, they're going to have a Halo 6, they're going to have Gears 5, they're going to have this, they're going to have this. Oh, they're going to buy up EA. They're going to have EA timed exclusives. They're going to have Battlefield 5 exclusive content. They're going to have, what is that game? I don't know, that game that got delayed till next year. Oh, that big game that was going to come out from EA. That game. Oh yeah, that game. Oh, that game is going to be timed exclusive, Game Pass on Tomb Raider. Like, people are going crazy thinking like Microsoft's going to buy studios and buy EA and buy all these timed games and all this other stuff. I'm not even thinking that. I think it's going to be a bunch of indie games, a bunch of Game Pass day one. Game Pass is going to be huge. Day one games. And you're going to get a lot of indies there, because like they've been doing, those guys are the guys that are willing to give their games out for free. I don't know if third-party publishing will do it. You might get 1 or 2, maybe Tomb Raider, something like that. Yes, Sci-Fi, the same thing. Early access games, I agree. Early access is going to be another one. They might get some more PC type games like PUBG deals in early access. So, if you want any hints, go look at Steam early access, and maybe one of those top games will wind up on Xbox in preview. Maybe PUBG comes out of preview. Who knows? But I think it's going to be a lot of that. Maybe they tease a Halo 6. Maybe this Gears spinoff. Who the hell knows? I hope that's on. Now I got to hope it's like, I hope the Gears spinoff is on an Xbox. I hope it's not a PC game. I don't know. Like, I don't know anymore. And just because Microsoft comes out and says that has games, now you got to go, well, wait a second. Are these games Xbox Game Pass games? Are these console launch exclusives? Are these cross-buy? Are these cross-play? Are these Windows 10 only games? Like, there's so, and now, as we've seen, the quality is so fluctuating. Is this going to be a Quantum Break game, Microsoft? Is this going to be a Halo polished game? Is this going to be a Sea of Thieves game type game? Is this going to be a State of Decay type game? Like, now Microsoft, it's not that they have this kind of, anything that comes from Microsoft Studios is quality. It's not. It's varying now. It's all over the place. So now even Microsoft says we're producing a game. And now, from this recent news that came out, Microsoft now is even releasing mobile games. So if Microsoft says we got games, I'm like, yo, I understand this is not for me. This may not be for you. I understand that. But you cannot sit here and just put your hands folded together and go, it's all good here. Now, Microsoft knows what's going on. Dude, they know what's going on. You're not part of it. If you're sitting here staring at your $500 console thinking the power of the X is going to be unleashed, you better wake up. Splash some water on your face. Just look at that State of Decay stuff that came out today about how the X runs at around 30 frames a second, and S and the original VCR Xbox is running the frame rates higher. And then not only is that good, but it's not even that good because the graphics on those look atrocious. They're like there's no textures, it's blurry. Both of them have horrible, like, it is not no technical showpiece on either one of those consoles. And this whole X is going to give it to you, most powerful console in the world. Like, that marketing thing is just falling flat on its face. It's falling flat on its face, that whole thing. And they sit back and they go, State of Decay is 1 million players, like global release. You know what? All they're showing by this engagement is they're showing initial interest in the game. Not to mention, it is not just a retail game that you can buy. There are options with trials, a 1 month trial, 14-day trials, Game Pass. There's so many different types now of low cost of entry to join into these 1 million players that you can't even measure success of their games anymore when they announce these bogus acclaims. 2 million people in Sea of Thieves 3 days after launch. Number 1 trending on Twitch for its first 2 days. What about an update today? State of Thieves. How many players were at? 500,000? Maybe. Engagement is not the thing about engagement. Excuse me. The thing about engagement is, I understand that's what Microsoft's focus. I know engagements have focus, but the thing about engagement is that it varies. If engagement is like, you could be engaged on Monday and not engaged on Friday. So for me to say, wow, we released on Monday morning, we had everybody was online. Look at Lawbreakers. I'm sure if they looked at that first weekend, they were like, we're a success. Meanwhile, they dropped off like friggin' flies. And that game is done. The studio's done. But I'm sure the first weekend, they're like, oh, I got to probably go find the tweet. You know? Probably go find the tweet about how Cliffy B is like, thank you so much for Lawbreakers. Week 1, we had over 500,000 people playing on week 1. Who the hell knows? I definitely remember seeing it. Everybody does it. But the thing is that that's not a measurement for success. So when people get those tweets and go, there's been 6 million snacks eaten and 1 million players and stuff like that, that's not success. That's interest. Because those numbers are dropping off. But when you announce sales, like 5 million things sold, it's cumulative. It's cumulative. So like when you sell 5 million, you're not going to lose 5 million in sales. You're not going to lose 1 million next month. No, you're going to gain. Numbers just going to keep growing. So when you get sales numbers, you could understand if a game was initially successful and will accumulate sales as it goes on. But when you announce engagement numbers, that is varying like the temperature. That's up and down all over the place, all this stuff. So we don't even know if these games are successful. And also with the low cost of entry to all these games, it's even hard to even see are these people that are paying for the game, because some of them probably not even paying for it. There were trials. There's 1 month trials. You could use 1 month trials. So they paid $10 to play the game for a little bit. Or people saved their 14-day trial and did their 14-day trial. What's up, Elish? How you doing, man? You know, like it varies. So they're low cost of entry. So, you know, for people like these games are a success, you really can't tell. Yo, what's up, Meds? Yeah, thanks for filling in for me, though. Yeah, I was laid up, man, and now I'm. You know, I was just seeing these recent things that came out, but thanks for covering for me, yo. I know you did a fill in, and thanks. I appreciate it, man. I know it was I felt bad. Everybody like, it's a very positive episode. I was like, oh man, do I really make it that negative? But I'm just like, I just can't sit here and drink the Kool-Aid. I can't sit here and be like, it's fine, because things like this, like we thought a Forza Kart game was coming out and we're like, I don't want a Forza Kart game. But hell, I would rather have a Forza Kart game than knowing that rumor was basically a mobile Windows 10 touch racing game. Like, that's what I mean. Limbo. It's limbo time. And Microsoft is winning in the limbo because whatever your expectations are, go lower than that. And inside Xbox last week, they're like, Halo news, Halo news, Halo news. Stay tuned, Halo news. Halo Arcade at Dave and Buster's. What the fuck? Like, what? I didn't even, like, out in left field type shit. So I would tell you, can't wait to E3 because, and when they said 2 hours, holy, there was going to be some left field shit going on at E3. There's going to be things that you don't even think about. Who that? I don't even know. I can't even predict it. And if I try to put my Microsoft hat on and go, what the hell would I do? Because all they want is more people playing games, people that don't play games, or people are like, that's what they, to get engagement numbers up, because that's the number, that's their thing. Those playing Xbox, those inside Xbox shows, those things are probably, they're about 2 hours, an hour and a half. I think one was like almost 2.5 hours, 3. But like, it's just so time now to me, after I saw that State of Decay and Sea of Thieves submarine thing they did and State of Decay stuff, they'll bring an Elite Controller 2 out there and have a video of the guy talking about how he refined it for like 5 minutes. They'll show that at E3, and there's your 2 hours. Like, they'll have like, and here's our developer video, and they'll have a video of the guy sitting there going, well, this, when we wanted to look at the Elite Controller, we wanted to see how to change it. People complained about the thumbstick, so now on this one, we decided to do, oh, trust me, they'll have a whole little 2-minute clip, I'm sure, about that. Exactly, Cypher. Sales numbers are facts. And I don't want sales to be like, haha, it didn't sell. No. I don't think people should be using, and I see this, people using this 1 million players, 2 million players as saying, oh, the game was a success. No. You can't make that claim off of that bogus PR statement. You can't say that this game was a success. When God of War comes out and goes 5 million sales are sold, that's a success. That's a huge success. Or, hey, we sold 1 million in one week. That's a success. Oh, wow, that's a popular game. But you say, oh, I had 1 million players 24 hours after release. Okay, that's great. And they probably dropped off like flies today. So you can't, like, that's a varying number. And that number is going to dwindle. It's not going to go up unless you put content in there. And maybe it shoots up more, but it's never going to shoot up to what it is. I would love to know an update on Sea of Thieves. Like, what is their player count now? I'm sure it's like 400 or 500,000 hardcore people just playing the game. But I just couldn't believe that thing. And then the other thing that I wanted to bring up was so what we got here? Yes, I was looking at this Miami thing, and you can see it basically, it's free to play too. So, like, this is just totally out of left field. And again, it's a Windows 10 game. And I just was like, and I'm sure that's going to be wonderful engagement for them and all that other stuff. But that Windows 10 store, and I heard that there's going to be some sort of updates to the Windows 10 store that's going to allow for this better sorting and stuff, because that store is absolutely atrocious. Yeah, exactly. Joseph Baby says State of Decay Escape Room will be announced as a TV series at E3. Oh, what? You didn't see the Miami? Well, listen on early on. What happened was, and the whole reason why I started this thing was, we all thought that, I'm just going to recap, that Forza thing was that Forza kart game was real. Well, it actually turns out to be Miami Street, a free-to-play racer, a Windows 10 mobile tap game from Microsoft Studios. So that's what Microsoft Studios is pushing out. Now, again, I'm not saying that, oh my God, they could have made 5 games and they were making this game, and that's why that's why we don't have any games, because they're making this one. It's not that. The problem that I have with it is why? And I think I'm gonna put links in chat, but why? I'll put the link in the description. But who is saying these areas are more important These other places should I be our priority? That's what I don't get. And everybody's saying wait to E3. Like said this, Microsoft is not waiting to E3. They're announcing stuff, but they're announcing stuff that we don't want as a console owner. And the thing is that our games are suffering. We have a delay. Our games are suffering. And that is why it grinds my gears about it. Is the fact is our games are suffering because, like Joseph Baby said, their identity crisis. The identity crisis that Microsoft has where they want to be everywhere is hurting the games. That's the thing. They're out of touch. It's hurting our games. And that's where it says, I know these games are not for me. I know exclusive game on PC is not for me. But like the Age of Empires, I don't care about that. I don't care about a tap racing game. You know, I don't care. Gameloft makes them. They're competing with Gameloft. Who the hell knows what the hell they're doing? But it just is, how do you sit there with a straight face and come out of a car holding this most powerful console in the world, running in? You made fucking varsity jackets saying it's a beast. You made pins. You celebrated people on the front of the line. You launched this thing as 4K, true 4K, all the most powerful thing in the world. And you release garbage. And I don't want to hear that, oh, you know what you were buying with the X. That's bullshit. Last year at this time, people thought the X or Project Scorpio was the next coming, was the comeback that Microsoft needed, was the beast that they were going to address. They were going to kill the competition with this. This X, this Scorpio was the next coming, the resurgence of Microsoft. People thought that this was the page turn. Just a year ago today, this thing was the turning point for Microsoft. This was supposed to be it. And we sit here a year later from when this thing was announced, almost a year, when they announced the name of it, because they talked their shit out of Scorpio, all to try to divert attention to the Pro. And that's how I'm going to get to my last point. They did that. But the thing what they did is that they talked this thing up so much. This was going to be the next coming. How? Microsoft Studios knew about this game. Microsoft knew about the Scorpio before anybody. And how the hell do you have this thing coming out and don't have a lineup for it at launch? Fine. You don't have a game coming out in the holiday time. You don't have a premiere game that shows the power of this thing. And guess what, everybody? You're not going to see the power of the X ever. You're never going to go because of that terrible Xbox One and the Xbox One S. The power of that system has shown that it is atrocious. Look at the graphics of State of Decay 2 on it. It looks like a friggin', I think there's probably Xbox backwards compatible games that look better than that. It is a blurry mess. The X is actually passable. Yeah, they had Lucky Tales. The X is passable. And hell, they don't even announce a friggin' Crackdown like an Orb or anything. They're not even hinting at that game. And we don't even know if it's a no-show. And on a side note, if Crackdown is not shown at E3 or mentioned or even delayed for 2019, if they don't even talk about Crackdown at E3, that game is dead, because the narrative at E3 is going to be, is Crackdown canceled? Is Crackdown canceled? Crackdown canceled? Crackdown may be canceled. Crackdown canceled. Phil, is Crackdown canceled? And he'd be saying, no, we're going to save it for Gamescom. We're going to wait until they're ready. No. And they'll be all doing that bullshit. But that will be the narrative of E3. People will be asking, is Crackdown canceled? Crackdown canceled. What's going on? Is Crackdown canceled? And people are going to be asking all that stuff. Is it all canceled? And that will be the E3 narrative. And Microsoft will have to try to talk out of that. And what's interesting is that this is going to be the first year that Albert Pinello is not there. Now, I know he's the hardware guy, but they could have used him this E3 he was a hard talker, and he could have probably told everybody about the power of the X and things about what developers are doing with the X, and kind of really reassure X owners, Xbox One X owners, don't worry, we're going to use the power of this. But Pinello's not there anymore. And he was the real hard talker. Like, he was the guy. I remember when the original Xbox One launched, and it was in the E3, and they were having all those issues, and he was talking about how it was a Ferrari and a car, and it was the long-term goal. Microsoft's in it for the long term. We're playing the long-term game, not the short term. Like, he basically talked to Adam Sessler at the time and really kind of delivered on it. All right, see you, Just Baby. Thanks a lot, man. So he actually was a good talker. He was a hard talker. I remember liking that video and going, this is the guy they need on stage. He's clear. He's telling everybody. Well, he's not there anymore. So he's not. So you're going to have Phil doing his interviews. And if Phil starts talking out the side of his ass like he does, I guarantee he's going to be saying some shit that people are going to be looking cross-eyed about. You know, the PC is the most important place that we really want to establish our games and stuff. He's going to say some crazy shit like that that's going to cause chaos that he's going to probably have to clarify the next day, because he's going to sit there and talk about this kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like, who put Microsoft, how does Microsoft think that they're in a position to be this universal, like the Gandhi of video games? Who gives you the right to think that you have that kind of like reach? What? Because you have a PC? You have an operating system? You got to bring content. Just because people turn on a computer, they don't give a shit if it's a Windows or a Mac. And PCs are not even popular anymore. People buy Macs. All the schools have Chromebooks. They lost that battle, guys. Windows is dead. Old man Enterprise is the only one that still uses Windows. Windows is fucking dead. This is all bullshit. All this Windows 10 forcing people to upgrade and all this. Windows is dead. Like, it's dead. I'm telling you, old man corporate is the only one that uses Windows Office and cloud and all of this shit and servers. Everybody in college, everybody in high school, and kids in elementary school, my son, they're using Chromebooks and this. Windows is not what it was in 98, being all over. It's in corporations. And that's why their focus is not with the consumer, because Microsoft lost the consumer. They lost the battle to Chromebooks on the low end because they had ebooks and all that trash and all that stuff. They lost the tablet market to iPad, and they losing the graphic designing to Mac. They lost all their battles. Hell, they're losing the AI. Cortana is fucking dead. Cortana is dead. It's Alexa. Now they're trying to partner with Amazon for Alexa, which I'm sure is going real well with Google, allow them to even use YouTube. Hence another reason YouTube and uploading to YouTube is not even available on an Xbox, because Microsoft and Google don't have a good relationship. There was never a native YouTube app. This is real, guys. These are facts. This is not fanboy bullshit. This is not I wish they're dead bullshit. This is not that. This is what's happening. I follow this stuff, and they are losing on every single asset. They are in desperation mode. Microsoft is not going bankrupt. They're not going out of business, but what they're doing is liquidation. They're liquidizing, guys. They're liquidizing. Yeah, there's a YouTube app on Xbox. You just can't upload your videos directly to YouTube. There was never a native YouTube app on Windows Phone, nor is there a YouTube app on the Windows 10 store. But there is a YouTube app on Xbox. Just want to clarify that. But you can't upload to YouTube directly. You have to like save it and stuff like that. Like Windows, you could stream. You can't stream to YouTube. You can't stream to YouTube from the Xbox. And a lot of it has to do with, I had a Windows phone, and I know that there was no native YouTube app, and there was a big battle. People would make their own YouTube apps. and YouTube service. I remember Google services blocked from Windows devices. That was another issue going on. But Google and Microsoft don't have good relationships. But that's not the point. The point of this whole thing is that Microsoft is losing. And then you look at the console space and look how Nintendo and Sony are dominating the console space. Microsoft's not winning anywhere. The only place they could possibly win is an enterprise, old man Windows guy, an enterprise and cloud. That's the only place that they have an opportunity in. That's why they're liquidizing. And what they liquidized was their exclusives. In desperation, they had to put Gears of War on PC to entice. They would say it's all because we're reaching a larger audience. They had to reach a larger audience because the console was not feasible enough. And it makes so much sense. I'm not saying they're at 29 million, but I'm sure they're damn low and damn close. 35, 29, it doesn't matter. It's low enough for them to not want to make statements like Shannon Loftus said, well, it's not economically feasible to make a first party single player only game that might not do well. It's not economically feasible because they don't have enough people to sell it to even warrant that kind of budget. It all makes sense. Like, this is the stuff that's going on. This is when you start putting stuff together. And you see how Microsoft handled the devices that weren't successful. The watch, the band, the Microsoft band, the Windows 10 thing. Hell, their Microsoft stores used to be Microsoft products. Now it's Surface. All they have is that Surface, which they haven't updated in a year or so. And now this store is just selling other people's shit. It was funny. I was watching 40-Year-Old Virgin, and like the lady's like, I got an eBay. We sell your stuff on eBay store. He's like, so you just sell other people's shit? It's like, yeah, okay. That's what Microsoft stores turned into. Microsoft store in the mall is we sell other people's shit. They got Dell. They got all their partners in there. They didn't have nothing from them. They got Surface and they got an Xbox, which you have to go all the way in the back and beg for them to turn on the X to go show it to you. Because the X is not in the forefront of the store. Hell, Kinect was in the hallways. I remember Kinect was promoted like crazy. But it just goes to show, like, they are liquidizing. They are trying to be everywhere because they cannot lead in any direction. They can't lead in the console. They can't lead on PC. PC gaming is probably the only thing that they could probably get, and that's taken over by Steam. So just try to focus, and this is a fun take-home homework assignment for all my listeners out there. Think about an electronic area and think about who dominates it, and let me know when you come back with Microsoft. And the only one that they could do is Enterprise. Enterprise, Office, big corporate America. That's where people use Windows. I use it at work. That's where they do. And even that has kind of turned into, I know that they was using Chrome and Google devices and stuff like that. But I'll even tell you something funny. We were doing some stuff and they were saying like, oh, we're going to use Surfaces and we're going to put the app on Surfaces and you guys are going to use that. Well, they wound up using iPads and everybody got iPads. So now we have a Windows computer and an iPad. I'm just saying, like, for what I see at work, even Apple creeped into Enterprise. So that's even tripping away at it. But schools, Microsoft lost schools. They were trying to do it with Windows 10S. But what I'm saying is that they're losing everywhere. So all these apps like this and games not for me and all this other stuff, there's all opportunities for them to try to just have a presence, a desperation presence in those areas. That's what they're doing. And unfortunately, the people that they're leaving hanging is us. The Xbox console owner. Those are the people that they'll sit through us through thick and thin. We could just give them whatever and they'll say it's okay because they love us. And then Microsoft is betting on that. And you could see who the hell greenlights State of the K2 to come out in the state that it is. They knew of the bugs and glitches. Hell, they had the feature to get people out of the thing. If you're stuck, you could jump out of the thing. They got that. So, like, they got those things right now going on. They knew that game was like that. They knew Sea of Thieves had what it had. They knew Sea of Thieves had the content, the 3 types of contents. They knew that. Whoever greenlit this stuff knew that stuff, but they just want it out there. And who knows if that's a problem of Game Pass. Just dump it into Game Pass. Dumping ground. Just put it into the dump and we'll fix it later, but at least it's out there. I don't know. But, you know, I'm kind of done. Yeah, it is what it is. We got to just wait to E3, you know, and we'll see where it is. But I just don't understand. If something is not for you, that doesn't mean that it doesn't affect you. Like if a game goes, my problem is why is that? Why does that exist? I wouldn't care if that exists if Detroit or God of War or Halo or Gears or anything or new games coming out from them, Titanfall. And I was saying this last night. One of my friends was like, who was the person that said, we want Titanfall on Xbox? We want Rise. Go develop Rise. We want Dead Rising 3. We want this. I don't know if it's Donnie D. I don't know who it was. But where did that person go? Because I know when people go, well, Jez, what do you want? Listen, I didn't sit here and go, you know what? I really think that Sony should make a game with a superhero and make it an exclusive, or just make it like from a developer that does this, and I'm going to send that in Sony feedback. Oh, look, they just made Spider-Man. Oh, you know what? I'm going to send in Sony feedback. They should make a game that, I think open world samurai game might be cool. Thanks, Sony. Oh, yeah, look, came true. They're making Ghost of Tsushima. You know what? I really think that they should make, one of their franchises a close to behind the back third person with some RPG elements and look amazing, but put it in a different area and change it up a little bit. There was no feedback on this. I did not tell Sony to make games that are appealing to us. I didn't tell them. They know what their core wants. They know. Oh, you should grab that Call of Duty deal. They know. Microsoft is the one that's sitting there going like, here's Lucky's Tales. Oh, where did you get that from? Who wanted, you didn't even have a VR fucking headset. But you're giving me a sequel to a VR game? Like a character that started in VR? Like, it's not even relatable. What was it? And it was one of the bargain bins? Like, who made that deal? Like, who decided on that? Who said, let's go make a Halo arcade cabinet? And not say, yo, why don't you make a game that maybe we could play in the arcade? But hey, what about if it hooks up to their network and you could play against people on Xbox? And we'll make the game on Xbox and you could play against those people there. And it'll be or have the scoreboard sync up. Or how about you put your gamer tag in on the Halo machine and it gives you achievements on your Xbox at home? Guys, I don't work for Microsoft, but why isn't Xbox even part of the conversation? That's the thing. Why isn't even Xbox part of that conversation? Why is it its own thing? Why is it an arcade game? Why is Microsoft not including Xbox in their thought? That's the thing. How can you sit here and be like, oh, that's not for me? It could be for you if Microsoft actually gave a shit about the console. They don't care about the console. They don't care. They think you're going to buy anything, you're going to eat shit, and you're going to like it. You're going to eat those 68s. You're going to do those 69s, and you're going to like it. Because you are a fool. You are an Xbox console fool. You're going to pay for Xbox Live. You're going to like it. You're going to pay. You're going to like it because you are the console fool. That's what the thing. I really think they think that we're all idiots. And I said it in my last show. You got to vote with I hit some button. You got to vote with your wallet. We are not idiots. We're actually smarter than we know the news. We know what's going on. And we don't just blatantly buy something because Microsoft says that we should buy it. And that's the thing. And that's how I feel. And that's why it grinds my gears, because my intelligence is being tested with all the bullshit that they're doing, with all the parrots on Major Nelson's arms, with all the bullshit chicken dinners the dope is eating on fucking Inside Xbox. That you're insulting my intelligence. You are going lower than the Limbo. You're winning Limbo because you're going lower than I could even think. Shit. Forza race car game? What the fuck? Who wants a Forza race car game with stupid avatars? Joyride sequel 4K. Who the hell wants that? Oh, don't worry, guys. It's not even a fucking Xbox game. Don't worry about it. It's a touchscreen game on Windows 10 PC from Microsoft Studios. Holy shit, I set the bar low. They fucking went Limbo on me. They went even lower. How low can you go? Shit. Halo news. It's just going to be Master Chief is 4K, guys. It's just going to be Master Chief collection. It's nothing. You know what? It's not going to be big news. Yo, Halo arcade cabinet, Dave and Buster's. Holy shit. What the fuck? Again, low blow. Damn, I set my expectations low. I wasn't expecting Halo 6. I wasn't expecting fucking expansion packs. I wasn't expecting that stuff. I was just like, yeah, Master Chief is on 4K. Yeah, that's what it is. And they didn't even confirm 4K. It just said enhanced. Whatever. Go do your midnight dick enhancement, penile enhancement things. That's all I hear is enhancements. And then another thing. These enhancements. You released a $500 console in November. Every game after November that gets released should be friggin' enhanced. If the emulator and 4K textures could be added, like, why are there 11 or 15 games, Microsoft, that are backwards compatible Xbox One enhanced? I understand there's native benefits by running it through the emulator, but they also need to be up-resed or added textures, because there's only a few games that do that. And why is it taking so much time? People I see, and the reason why I bring this up is people were seeing Fight Night, and they were like, why is Fight Night not 4K enhanced or enhanced? Why is they just announced Battlefield 1943? Why is that not 4K enhanced? They're just backwards compatible. So they run a little bit smoother and a little bit smoothed out through the emulator on the X, and maybe a little bit higher frame rates. But again, Battlefield 1943 was a cool arcade game. It had 3 maps, but it was the first time that Battlefield experience came to console. That's why it was a big deal. Now you got all these Battlefields. The thing is that these backwards compatibility things are neat, but they do not substitute the lack of what we're getting. That they do not substitute, oh, there's no Detroit Become Human this month, guys. Sorry, but hey, Battlefield 1943 is backwards compatible. No. That's not equal. That's backwards thinking. And they need to straighten this shit out. And E3, I'm telling you, there are going to be people going, if Microsoft has a ho-hum E3, people will be like, I wasn't expecting much from them. I didn't expect much. So you know what? If you're not expecting much, then just enjoy your console and stop trying to sell it to anybody. Because there's no good things that come out. If you're not expecting much out of it, then you're not demanding the most out of that console. Because I think they have just fallen flat on their face with this Xbox. And the X was the biggest lie in the world. That is the biggest, like, this 4K thing, and hoping devs would support it. They're not getting the dev support. They're not. Like, if they did sell 35 million, how many of those are X's? What? Not even half. If that at 30 million, maybe 5 million, 4 million are X's. It is such a low install base. This has been my problem. When people said sales don't matter, sales matter, but it's mind share. It's developer mind share. It's why Windows Phone is dead. It's because the mind share was on Apple. And when Android took over, when Samsung started making their Galaxy phones, Android became the focus. But all the app development was on iPhone. And then Android made itself relevant with partner with Samsung and Galaxy phones, and now they're equals and actually surpassed Apple. But Windows was the 3%. Devs didn't want to develop on Windows devices, the Windows Phone devices. The mind share wasn't there. They were 3%. And if look at Nintendo Switch, how it's selling. Nintendo Switch is selling, and all the app, everybody's like, oh, put our games on the Switch, put our games on the Switch, port it over to the Switch because it's selling. You can't sell on something. You can't if you have 29 million, 35 million, and you put a game on there, that's a closed environment. That's 35 million that you could do, where the other one's at 80. Like the disparity between the consoles, especially the PlayStation and Xbox, is huge. And the last point I'm going to leave, and it's the mind share. Sales do matter, not for nagging rights, not for making fun of people, but sales matter for mind share and developer mind share. And the last point I'm going to say is the thing that I heard a lot when I was like laid up was the whole PlayStation thing, PlayStation 5 and all the stuff going on where it's coming in 2021. Let me tell you something. Sony's playing the same game that Microsoft played with Project Scorpio. The whole reason why Scorpio was announced, and it was supposed to be lie number 1, VR supported, which they dropped that real quick, just to kind of stagnate or hold sales back, that people think something better is coming than the Pro. Sony's doing that now to Microsoft, because as soon as any news comes out about PlayStation 5, which it's been flowing real fast, like it is not like 1 or 2 rumors, and Sony's being really forefront saying we're supporting the 4 until 2021, and we'll work on the next console. As soon as news comes out about the PlayStation 5, the Xbox One is dead. It's dead. Any potential sales, and the thing is that the disparity between the Pro and the X, and the differentiation of that, if anybody is power hungry, they're not going to buy an Xbox. They're going to wait for the next best thing, and Sony knows that, so they're going to keep teasing PlayStation 5s. Hell, they might even announce the PlayStation 5 at PSX the end of this year. Just say, hey, we're working on it, guys. Confirmed. And in that instant, the power of the X and this whole X is going to give it to you and all this other stuff, it's already done. But it's over. It's over. And the other problem is that the X will never show its true potential as long as they keep supporting the lower Xboxes. They should have made the X a brand new generation and started from scratch and said, let's do this, guys. We're going to have X-only games. And they might get ported back to the S. But they weren't in a position to do that with the sales. They couldn't start brand new when they're already low. The devs already probably figured that Microsoft was low on sales. But the thing is that Sony, with their teasing and all talking about the PlayStation 5 and it's coming and we're supporting the PlayStation, and it sounds like it's backwards compatible, Sony's going to take its 80 million and 90 million people and say, come on over, guys. And those people are going to come right on over. And not even going to look back. And the X is going to be sitting there trapped to still support that friggin' S in the original Xbox. Unless Microsoft flips the script and says, okay, X, you could break free. And Microsoft should do that sooner or later. Man, that will be a huge E3 announcement. They come out and say, this game is only running on the X. PC and Xbox One X games we're going to make. Damn, that's what they need to do. And they got to do that sooner rather than later. Because if they just stick around doing what they're doing and Sony announces the PlayStation 5 and starts talking about it, Microsoft's going to look like a fool if they go, oh, and we got the X1, X2. Oh, no. You can't just release another piece of hardware. So it's going to be really telling. But I think Sony's playing the same game. They're going to tease the next generation console. And as soon as that thing becomes a reality, any power narrative or any X is going to give it to you, it's done. It's done. And people knew this. That's why the power game is never a winning game. That's why everybody was celebrating how powerful the X was. I was like, why is it $500? You got to be competitive. You got to be $400. Oh, but you're getting such an incredible deal for $500. I don't give a shit what deal I'm getting. All I know is that every console is below $500. Microsoft was an idiot to have the first Xbox as $500, and now they came out and now they have this one at $500. They never learned that lesson. That's what was my thinking. I was like, how do you get fooled twice? How do you make the same mistake twice? That's like Sony coming out and say $600 PlayStation 3, $600 PlayStation 4. They learned. They said $400. Fuck it. So it's really just amazing how they made the same mistake twice. Phil Spencer went out there and said $500. I was like, no way. I remember going after Jeff Keighley on his tweet when he teased that before E3 going, oh, it's $500. I'm like, hell no, you're wrong. There's no way this thing to be $500. No way is Phil going to say $500. No way. And then when they didn't start with the price, I was like, uh-oh, it's $500. And he went out there and said $500. That thing needs a price drop. If they come out this E3 and say $400 Xbox One X, that's a head turner. Now we're talking because now you're competitive. Because Sony might come out there and if Sony comes out there and says the Pro now all new price at $350 this week. Because remember, Sony does that stuff, dude. Like Sony does that stuff. Sony had last E3, they dominated. They had the gold console come out at E3. They had Best Buy PlayStation days. And that's when I bought my PlayStation because there were all these sales going on at E3 at Best Buy for PlayStation because they ran PlayStation days during E3. And people were buying the gold PlayStation and all that other stuff. Microsoft didn't do shit at E3 in retail or promotion-wise. No, I didn't get that gold console. I thought about it, but I was like, I don't need a Kardashian console. But people were buying it. I got a Pro at the time. I bought a Pro because my thing was when Microsoft announced the price at $500, I'm like, wait a second. I'm not going to wait and spend $500 to play all my same games again. I'm going to spend $400 and buy the competition's console and play all the games that are not available anywhere else. That was my logic. That's how Microsoft chased me over to PlayStation was when they said $500 and didn't show a lineup for their console and said, and the Crackdown gets delayed and Lucky's Tales. I was like, you don't have any specific games that are look incredible. This no Halo, no Gears, no blockbuster game to show the power of the X. I'm not paying $500 to go play the games that are sitting at my console right now. Like I'm not gonna buy Forza and sit there and stare at it, going, "Oh, I can't wait for that 4K update." That's silly. Oh, I'm gonna sit here and play Halo 5 again. I can play Halo 5 right this second. I don't have to wait until November to play it again in a little bit higher resolution. I just didn't understand that logic. And to spend that much money, and then the S was trash trade-in. Like trade-in wise, the S was like not even $100. So even the $400 you spent last year, $300 on the S, the trade-in value was garbage. So you were still paying over an arm and a leg, like $320 for an X. It was like you were losing your S to do that. Like that's the other thing. The trade-in values of the Xbox are atrocious. They're double. PlayStation 4 Slim is like $160 trade-in. The S is $80. Supply and demand they operate on. Tell me about that. This shit's real. Like this is not fanboy talk. This is real. Like this is legit. Go to GameStop.com and look at the trade-in values. They're the same price console on store shelves. A $300 PlayStation, a $300 Xbox. Why the hell is it $80 at GameStop to trade in an Xbox One S 500 gigabyte and $160 trade-in to go trade in a PlayStation 4 Slim 500 gigabyte? They're almost double. And forget about the Black Friday. $199 PlayStation was ridiculous. And the thing, and during the Black Friday thing, Sony did the entire Black Friday week of $199. Microsoft just did their sale on a $189S on Black Friday. They let Sony have the whole week. They don't care. They don't care. It's if they don't care or they're just idiots. It's either one of those. They got their head so far up the cloud's ass, or they just don't care. And I think it's the latter. I think they just don't care. They're smart people. Like, I think they know this stuff. And one last thing on that note, the Game Pass announcements for next month, those games are atrocious. I don't even know what the hell they are. I'll just so you guys don't have to go clicking around and stuff. I'll help you guys out here. Let me just see what is this Game Pass for June. Now you think about it. I'm not no market director. I'm not no business major. I'm a science guy. But you're going to go to E3. All eyes on Xbox, Sony, Nintendo. It's E3 month, right? The news outlets, CNET is there, all that stuff. And I'm sure Game Pass is going to be a big, big talk at Microsoft's thing. And their biggest purpose, I feel, is probably them going to try to get new subscribers and continue with the subscribers that they have. Well, for June, they put MotoGP 17, Next Up Hero, Disneyland Adventures, Technomancer, Wasteland 2, and Mega Man Legacy Collection 2. And they lost like 26 games, supposedly. A bunch of like 360 games, and some other ones are coming out of it. But they put those 6 gems. Yeah, gems. Let me take a drink. In Game Pass. In the month when they're going to probably be talking the most about Game Pass. You think they would have put maybe a Forza game in there or whatever they have, like Rise. I don't know if Rise is in there already. I don't know, but like put a game in there. Like I know you don't have a new release this month, but my goodness. And I think that's the biggest thing that I find lacking this generation. I think this is what hurting Microsoft the most. They don't have Xbox Live Arcade. They don't have those gems. Like they don't have like what State of Decay was. They don't have those games like Braid and with Ori, like more Oris and more Ori type games. They had that Braid. They had Xbox Live Arcade. They had Explosion Man, Missplosion Man. They had all these games that kind of fill this out. You know? Yeah, I'm going to turn this show down too. Thanks, Alish. Thanks for coming out. But yeah, they had all these things coming out. And really they that to fill in the big blockbusters, but they don't really have it this year. And they're really using the other guys, like they're using other people like indies and stuff to fill in this stuff. And it's not the kind of like their curated list of indies or games specifically developed with Xbox features in mind, you know? They just don't have it. But you would think that it's June. Microsoft marketing will put some big games in Game Pass since a lot of eyes are going to be on Game Pass. Let's get new subscribers at E3. Let's hand out those things. Let's have a killer list lineup for June. And they come out with like one of their weakest ones. I don't know. Maybe, and I was talking to Kid Smoot, shout out to Kid Smoot about it. Maybe they announced a game or two for Game Pass at E3, saying starting today, this game's in Game Pass. I can see them do that. Maybe a new game they announce launching in Game Pass. That would be neat, and that would be smart. But again, it's all speculation, and everything is like, hey, you don't like the first bite because Microsoft just doesn't seem to get it on their first presentation, but we got to create a story thinking, oh, they'll make up for it. So again, now we sit here with these 6 games and we cross our fingers and go, oh, maybe they have a blockbuster, maybe they have a cool new game. Maybe PUBG comes out of preview and it's day 1 June Game Pass today. Maybe they do that. That would be good. But again, wait to E3. And again, set your limbo bars because Microsoft just seems to be, whatever your expectations are, think lower than that. Because even if you lower your expectations, they seem to be even going lower than my lowest expectations recently. And I don't even know what to expect at E3. I'm just going to watch it, see what's going on. Speculation. I don't know. Game Pass, day 1 Game Pass. A lot of third-party support, a lot of true 4K statements. Probably running dynamic 4K, 30 frames per second, like everything else, and call it a day. But I just wanted to think the thing that really brought me on was that original story with that Miami Street, and not to trash on the game. I'm sure it's a decent game. It is what it is. But the fact is who, like, there goes that Forza cart thing. If anybody wanted that thing, but still, it's like, you know what? I would have preferred the Forza cart thing. I would think maybe they were adding avatars or something like that, But to have a game blatantly just not be on Xbox console, it's like, damn. Just like that Halo thing, like, damn, like you don't even want to. When you talk about games, is Xbox even in the conversation? Like, who the hell knows? Might have that guy, the David Gallagher guy, come out on stage going, "Yeah, I'm working on something. It's it's something that goes in a Windows PC exclusive." Who the hell knows? I don't even know what to think anymore. But this has been, again, Jez7780. Go follow me up on Twitter. Follow me on the YouTube. I try to do a weekly Grinds My Gears episode when I have something that kind of triggers me and I want to bring it up. And, again, I am truly, just want Microsoft. I like the PC aspect. I like the cross-buy, cross-play, playing for free on PC. I just think that they kind of assume that we should be happy just because we're Xbox fans. And that's a false assumption, because we should not be accepting of this stuff, and we should not be giving excuses for them on this kind of stuff. And that's all I have to say. It's like, we got to vote with our wallet, and I'm voting because I'm really, really just being like, yo, if they're not delivering, then I'm not delivering on their content. I'm not engaging if they're not delivering. Basically, something like along those lines. But I want to thank everybody coming out. Maybe I'll do another one next week, or see if anything else comes out. But as we get closer to E3, I'll probably do one a week, and I'll be on the Planet Xbox show. Hopefully, if we do it, if they want me back on. It don't want to be too thing, but it's just, it's good. There's good things, like, that control they made. Like, I'm not saying that they're just not for me. That's fine. They're not for me, but something eventually has to be for me. That's my whole thing. Like, I understand these things are not for me, but it's been a while since something has been for me. Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's awesome for us. Like, as an Xbox owner, like, that's cool. Like, when's that? Because there's things that you say, it is not for me. But as you're sitting here waiting for something for you, you hear about everybody else getting everything. And it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm not a priority for them. And that's how I feel. And they think that they can, how long can they pacify us along, guys? That's all I say out there. So speak your mind. Be what it is. Just don't. It's like, it gets mixed up with PlayStation fans and all this other stuff. But PlayStation's where it's at right now with games. You cannot deny the games that are coming out for that console. It is a closed system. It is a focused system. The devs are developing for a closed system and squeezing all the juice out of that PlayStation. Where Xbox, it's an open platform. You got to put it on PC, put it on the S, put it on the X, make it on mobile. It goes on Windows UWP. Devs have to worry about a whole bunch of different things. I know Microsoft makes it easy with tools, they say, but it's a whole bunch of things that people need to worry about. And I really hope that it's not affecting the game quality like we've seen. Like, is State of Decay 2 the state of it is? Because that dev had to work with PC and making sure that UWP worked on Windows 10 and then worked on Xbox, because obviously it wasn't optimized for Xbox, because all those glitches and stuff are not really found on the PC version. So how's the Microsoft Studios game, or Microsoft game, not optimized for their own console? I don't know. Something to think about for the next time. Again, this has been Grinds My Gears, Jez7780. Go follow me on Twitter. And you could follow me over here on YouTube. I'll upload some content, some videos. I've been streaming some VR stuff. I got a Knockout VR game. And I also got the Skyrim and the Patient. And and then just upload some videos. It's so easy to upload YouTube from PlayStation. That's why I build my YouTube channel with the PlayStation stuff. But I'll do some mix of stuff if I get State of Decay 2. Again, I just got to my office fine today after being laid up in bed. So thanks, everybody, and I'll talk to you soon. Jez77 signing out. 7780 signing out, guys.